This is for the players.
I'm Ryan Benson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
And this is For the Players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast. With almost 40 years playing PlayStation and 5+ years in the games media combined, we thought we could throw our hats into the ring and join that PlayStation conversation.
If you would also like to join the PlayStation conversation, you can do so every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. More conversation happens over on Facebook and all other major social media platforms, but the main conversation, as always, happens on our Facebook community page, facebook.com/groups/thepopculturist. And if you're insane and really like what we actually do, jump over to Patreon. Check out the tiers there. There might be something there that interests you.
We should mention as well that the main conversation does happen on the Facebook page, but as of recently, I've jumped into our little Discord group that Chris, one of our community members, created.
Yeah.
That shit goes off. I had to turn the notifications off.
I'm balls. There's only like four or five of us that actively use it. I'm balls deep in it.
You go insane.
Yeah. Well, see, the Facebook community page is good for, sharing links and talking about specific things, whereas the Discord channel is just ongoing general chit chat. Whereas if it was in the
controlled conversation, not controlled, but like segregated. This is just giant chat.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if everything we said in Discord was said in the Facebook group, then everyone in the group will be getting fucking tons and tons of notifications. Probably causing people to leave. So Discord is a nice, quiet place to have that ongoing conversation. Yeah. So if you want a link to that, just ask in our Facebook community group.
Someone hook up.
More than welcome to jump in. We have a good time. Link in all the memes and all the funny videos.
Well, so far I've pretty much seen there's an Overwatch chat, there's a Persona chat, and the rest don't matter.
There's movies chat. Movies get some action, and then there's general chat.
How you been, man?
Yeah.
The time of recording, we're this evening we're off to do some what was it called? Soft tip archery combat?
Yeah. Apex Archery.
We're gonna go shoot arrows at each other. That's gonna be damn fun.
I've got a cup in the car.
Oh, smart, since you're hitting the groin last time. That's a good idea.
I don't actually.
Oh.
I feel like I should have, though. I'll just get a whole bunch of toilet paper and wrap it up and just shove it down my junk. Yeah, but that's later. What have you been playing recently?
Not much. Been a pretty quiet week once again. I'm trying to think, because I edited a couple of videos this week, so that took a lot of my gaming time. Bummed about that.
You shouldn't have left Friday's one till the night before.
Shouldn't have. I didn't film it until the night before. That was really bad of me. But I did. So I have not played a whole lot. We played some Destiny with Max the other night.
Does that fall in this week?
It was
last Saturday night. Last Saturday night it was.
That was last Saturday night. So technically
recorded.
that falls in the week. Yeah, so we played for about a good couple of hours altogether.
Yeah, it's fun.
Damn good fun.
Yeah, made me go and buy a headset the next day.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have one. I couldn't chit-chat.
No, it was like... the fun that we had just doing random missions in Destiny makes me really keen for Destiny 2. And I think when there's more of us and we can... I don't know what the maximum group is. It's like 4? Oh, it's only 3.
4 for PvP and 3 for out in the world.
PvP.
A lot of people are asking for it to be 4 out in the world so the same group can jump between PvE and PvP. But at the moment, they're sticking to the 3-person fight team.
That's a bit bum. But I did hear some glitches in the beta. It was like 8 people in the one strike. And like, I don't know.
And Max was saying he was jumping into some areas you're not supposed to be able to get into just yet as well. So.
But yeah, that was a ton of fun. And last night, after seeing all the Wolfenstein New Colossus hands-on and Let's Plays that have come out the last week, I went and found my copy of The New Blood. And I put The New Blood? No, not The New Blood. The New Order. The Old Blood was the DLC. I put in The New Order into the PlayStation and played that for a little bit last night. Fuck, it's good.
I played it for about an hour.
See, the thing is that the problem with that first hour sucks dick.
But
and then it gets and that's pretty good.
When I play a new game, it's like you've got to get me quick. Yeah. Because there's so many games to play. If you don't get me quick, then it's gone ski.
So I played that for a little bit. Now I jumped off pretty much where I left off from last time. So I have very vague understanding of the story. All I remember is there's this one bit I kept getting stuck at and I was able to get through it last time. I was like, motherfucker.
Good job. Well done.
Last time I played that was in 2014. I didn't realize the game came out that long ago. Because think about it, I had that before I moved into this house.
Yeah.
Before I built this house.
Jesus.
Yeah, crazy. No, but it's really good. It's really tight. It's really heavy and the good. I'm finding that I like heavier shooters, like sluggish, not sluggish, but like not Gears of War sluggish,
weighty.
Yeah, because like the guns feel heavy, they actually feel huge.
Killzone had a good weight to
And like
it,
I loved
think.
Killzone on the PS2, so that's probably why.
Killzone 2 was the shit.
I love Killzone.
The shit.
I then picked up Shadowfall. I think I might eventually.
I got
when
it
it's
free
like
with my
$8.
PlayStation. It's you can get it at EB pre-owned for like $15.
No, if you've got it, I'll just borrow it from you.
No,
And then
but I
never
tried
give
it. I
back to
traded
you.
it in.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, because I didn't really like it.
I don't know. And it's funny because shooters aren't always my jam, but then sometimes I sort of get in the shooter feel.
I love the gunplay of Killzone. But Killzone Shadowfall, everything else just didn't really do anything for me, unfortunately.
But you've also been playing a shooter.
I have been, but I've also been playing Overcooked.
Oh, I just came to the Switch this week.
Woo!
I'm so close to like picking that up again for the Switch.
I was $11 on the PlayStation Store, and I thought my kid would get a kick out of it, and turns out he really does get a kick out of it. Very fast paced, very fun, and it's funny as the music starts cranking up faster and faster. I can see him getting a bit more frantic because the music. That's just what the music does. The tempo goes faster, so the tension increases, and that was a lot of fun. I've also been playing Overwatch.
I'm just glad it's not Persona.
12 hours yesterday.
Jesus Christ!
Meant to study. Turned it on at about 10:30 after I got up, did my housework and all that. Thought I'll play for a couple of hours and I'll jump over and study. 10:30 I turned it off that night last night. And this kind of ties in with the first news, but they released a new character yesterday. Doomfist. So I was mucking around with him, and that was infuriating and fun at the same time. The World Championship kind of put that little spark in me to like play this more.
Well, tell me more about your Overwatch experiences while I see how much is on the PSN store, because I'm thinking about it.
It's brought back my gamer rage that I haven't had since probably Modern Warfare 2. Just yelling at the screen. No one can hear you, but just yelling at the screen. I scare my dog a lot when I get really mad because he sits next to me on the couch, and then all of a sudden...
Your dog's timid as it is.
Not with me, but it's dead quiet, and then you hear, "Get on the fucking point, you effing this and effing that," and the dog bolts off the couch.
The dog runs to the point. He's not quite sure what's going on.
Just out the back door.
He's like standing in the kitchen. Is this the point?
I had a lot of fun with Doomfist yesterday, but I've had more fun countering Doomfist. Because everyone wants to play the new hero. Everyone does, and every single game I've played, there's been a Doomfist on the opposing team. Of course, he's a new hero, so it's the flavour of the month kind of a thing. I've been mucking around with characters that counter him well. Junkrat being one with this steel trap, because Doomfist has a one-hit KO ability that everyone's like, "Oh, this is fucking dumb."
That's
Why
a bit
does he have
weird.
it? Because Roadhog used to have one. And they took it away because they said one-hit KO abilities aren't fun. And they've given one to Doomfist now, which is easier to accomplish than Roadhogs. So Junkrat with his steel trap on the ground, and
it's still $100 in the store.
it's like $47 in EB.
Cool, I'm going to EB later. I want there to be more games that we can play together and we in the community can play together. And shooters seem to be one of those things. Yeah. So
Jess is on the fence about it too.
Come on, Jess, let's do it. Let's jump into the Overwatch.
Chris and I think Max both played on PC though.
Yeah,
so
Master Race Jess. Max does have it on the PS4. But he doesn't want to update it, so
it was 20 gig for him. When I read
how many people can be on a team?
6.
Oh man, we can get 6 of us together.
Yeah, and jump in competitive mode. Get some competitive points by our golden guns. That's not going to happen. But that segues into the topic we call Inform the Players, where we bring you the biggest news stories of the last week.
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew.
Inform.
Teach.
Facts.
We have 11 bits of news this week. 11 bits. The first 2 are Overwatch.
11?
Yeah.
Jesus
The first
Christ.
2 are Overwatch related, so I'll just roll them together.
Beautiful.
Overwatch news, as we just said, Doomfist, the long-awaited cybernetically enhanced Overwatch villain, officially announced yesterday. Is now available as a player... No, officially announced earlier in the month, is now available as a playable hero in Overwatch on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. The announcement was posted on Overwatch's official Twitter page along with the sizzle reel showing off the new hero in action. Very mobile assault hero.
He looks... Because he's pretty much the only thing he's got is the big arm, right?
He's got the big gauntlet, yeah.
The arm is... Other than that, he looks like the dude. Like there's no suit, there's no fancy. It's just
it's got the gauntlet's as big as Tracer is. So
that's the 2-shooty one, yeah.
Yeah, and he's got the shotgun in his left hand as well, like in his knuckles. Out of his knuckles and stuff. And going off all the esports Overwatch talk we've had recently, Blizzard has announced the first details about pro player salaries and the benefits for the upcoming Overwatch League, revealing that each player will earn a minimum of $50,000 USD a year.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Teams will be required to sign players to a 1-year contract, which can be extended to 2 years if they choose. In other words, if they're good enough. In addition to the minimum salary, teams must also provide their players with health insurance, a retirement savings plan, and housing and practice facilities during the season. On top of that, at least 50% of bonuses earned from winning events must go directly to the players. The bonus pool for all events in this season is $3.5 million, with at least $1 million of that going to the championship team alone. For a team with only 6 players, a roster can have up to 12 to account for subs. That's at least another $83,000 per player for winning Season 1. Yeah, $50,000 USD, which
awesome.
is more than what we earn at the moment.
If you do the conversion, that's more than us. Yeah, I don't like my job is like mid-tier.
Yeah. But they also, like I said, they get health insurance, a retirement savings plan, housing, and practice facilities during the season. So you're saving a fuckload of money on all that as well.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Plus, if you do well, you get your chance to win a share of $3.5 million of prize money.
Yeah,
for each season. That's
awesome.
Fucking rad. It's like a legit.
It
makes it more legitimate.
That's
having
excluding
that
any
kind of
sponsorships
stuff.
or anything that do happen to pop up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But speaking of esports, number 3, during its first quarter call with investors, EA teased what it called the richest Battlefield experience yet. EA CEO Andrew Wilson said the new content will premiere at Gamescom next month and includes new maps and modes, while it's likely the content is from the upcoming In the Name of the Tsar DLC, first revealed at E3. No specific reference was made during his remarks. And then in an update to that story, during the question and answer period of the investor call, EA said the new addition to Battlefield 1 is an esports mode, pointing to the difficulties of playing competitive matches with 64 players.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
You think?
How do you coordinate that?
You fucking think? Yeah, it's like 64 players. Like the idea of a 64 player Battlefield is awesome. Like I remember when I had Battlefield 3 on PS3, and I was like, oh, they can only have like 24, and PC had like 64 the whole time.
Yeah.
And then I went and finally played Battlefield 4 on the PC. I was like, this is nuts.
I think the last Battlefield I played was 1942.
Oh, you're old.
Yeah.
Yeah, Battlefield 1 is still going well. A lot of the new DLC is coming slowly, but slowly drip feeding. So once every week or so, they're dropping a new map or a new little feature. So it's kind of giving people that reason to keep coming back every week. It's getting interesting. As an esport, cool.
How do you cover that though? Because everyone's so. We saw Overwatch having troubles, keeping track of 12 people. And how do you keep track of 64 and make it enjoyable to watch?
And remembering all those plays and cutting between all the footage, between the cameras. And
when someone gets a 3-kilometer sniper headshot and you miss that on the stream, then it kind of sucks.
It does.
Be interesting to see how that folds out. Number 4, The Sims 4. Will be released on the PS4 and Xbox One on November 17. The confirmation follows recent Sims 4 rumours that the game would be heading to Xbox later this year. The console versions will feature most of the DLC that was released for the PC version of the game. According to EA, console fans can also look forward to periodic game updates and extra content releases. Those who pre-order the standard edition of The Sims 4 will receive the Perfect Patio Stuff Pack, which includes tons of bonus decor for your outdoor oasis. Additionally, you can pre-order the Deluxe Party Edition, which features the Stuff Pack, as well as the Life of the Party, Up All Night, and Awesome Animal Hats DLC. You'll also receive the full game 3 days early on November 14th. The standard edition will cost $50 US and the deluxe will cost $60 US.
You had me at Animal Hats. No, seriously, I loved The Sims growing up. I really the last one I actually actively played was Sims 2.
Yeah, I think I was the same.
So I'm honestly,
I'm wondering if I dabbled in. I can't remember.
I'm picking that fucker up.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Because I think I'm picking it up. We'll stream it. I'm gonna make you. I'll make me. I'll make Dylan, and then we'll create a little share house, and we'll watch us just all drown in a pool.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Will Dylan always be at the sink washing his hands?
Yeah, can we program because last I played with Sims 2, so I'm sure there's some tweaks in there. Can we give this mental health issues to this person?
How detailed can you go?
Yeah, and we'll make sure you're unemployed.
Yeah,
and my guy will just be fat.
I think my kids will get a kick out of it too.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
It's good fun. I do like The Sims a lot.
Wondering how the controls will work because it's very much a PC control layout.
Well, it's the same thing, right? So with City Skylines as an example, now I've heard this comparison before on other shows, but when we were given a copy of City Skylines to play, that was my concern as well. How does this run being very mouse driven? It's fine. Like if it's optimized correctly, it's not going to be a problem. Obviously, you can't get the precision that you want with a mouse, so you have to adapt a little bit. An example is like when we're trying to build roads, rather than sort of freely move the road where you want, it was kind of a little bit blocky, but enough to be like you can put it where you want without being too much of a problem.
That's what puts me off MMOs on console, is that it's PC user interface, and then your right joystick just becomes a cursor. Like you're on a PC.
Which MMO are you talking about?
Elder Scrolls, Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
The menu systems are very convoluted for a console, and it's what puts me off.
You see, as the benefit of DCUO, which that was designed with consoles in mind, the menus are all directional. There's no actual cursor anywhere. In terms of your hotbar, it's all, you have, they're all the front buttons, and then you press one of the triggers, and then it opens up another set of 8. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, they do that, but any game where I open up the menu and I have to use my joystick like it's a cursor on a PC, I'm out.
See, one of the games that really interests me, because I thoroughly enjoyed it on my PC, and I think it'd be a really cool game to stream as well, would be Prison Architect. But that that involves such a precision with the mouse. I'm curious to see what that's like on console. Now, if I can work out how to make my PC stream, I'll do that. But
what do you mean work out how to make it stream?
It's not a very strong PC. So,
right.
See, the benefit of like when we stream games in here, all the grunt's coming out of the console, so the PC's not doing much work.
Yeah. I mean, it's having a seizure trying to keep every OBS running and everything, but it's okay.
There we go.
Next bit of news, quite large. I'll quickly skim over it. Number 5? Yeah, that'll do. There was a lot of worry for Friday the 13th because the developer, I think it's iPhonic, released a game called Dead Alliance is coming out shortly. A lot of people were thinking they're done with Friday the 13th, no more updates, none of that. The devs have come out and said that's not happening. Dead Alliance was in development long before Friday the 13th, and they've said that the Friday the 13th team is actually expanding instead of decreasing. So don't worry about Friday the 13th.
I wasn't worried.
I mean,
to me, this is another example of just the internet grabbing a headline of some sort and running with it. Because this is not new. I guarantee my opinions on this aren't very different to everybody else's, but it's kind of like, yeah, you have a big team developing a game. When that team's released, a lot of people move on to something else.
Yeah.
Because you don't need that in full team working on it. So put them over here, have some people hang around, have the quote unquote minimum people over here. But these guys we have the minimum plus we're adding more to it because
so they had when the game launched with a 20-person team and now it's up to 30. So I'm surprised how well that game is doing because anything I've watched on it looks buggy as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
That was the exact reason I didn't pick it up because
me too.
I was personally uncomfortable paying almost full price for it.
Yeah.
When I knew it was buggy.
Yeah.
Now Max, as we mentioned in the stream in the video already, big fan. Thoroughly enjoys it. He's having a great time.
Yeah.
If it's like $20, I'll pick it up maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Speaking of multiplayer games for $20, number 6.
Yeah.
Techland has announced Dying Light will be getting 10 pieces of original new content during the next 12 months. All the DLC will be free across all platforms and will include new enemies, new events, new mysteries, and more. A new enemy content drop will be coming soon as a tiny taste of what's to come. Dying Light released in early 2015, but the developer says the game still has 500,000 average weekly players. Techland previously said it would be supporting the game until the end of 2016, but that has clearly been extended even further. Popular game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Say it.
This game was $20 at one point. I'm like,
it's been that price multiple times since then as well.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, let's play it. It's multiplayer. This will be a cool thing for us to do. It's zombies. It's first person. It should be fun. And you're like, yeah, man, we'll do it. So I buy it, and then you're like, did you buy it? I'm like, no, nah.
I bought Rocket League instead.
Yeah, see, I'm happy with that. I'm not mad at that one. But the other times that it's come free, you're like, come cheaper, you're like, yeah.
It's all
knowing that it's supported, is that helping?
No.
Fuck.
Not really. I mean, I didn't expect it to be anyway. So
I just
no,
want
no.
to play it with me. Or multiplayer.
It always goes on special at an inopportune time where I'm like balls deep in something else. It'll probably go on special tomorrow while I'm balls deep in Overwatch at the moment, so I just won't fucking do it. But that's good. I mean, surely they're working on number 2.
Well, you'd think so, but it's it's interesting in terms of why they're doing this, right? Because you think they'd be like, even if it's such an incredible fan base like that, maybe they're like, hey, we're working on number 2, you know, like here's some things, but I don't know.
They probably are. They just haven't announced it yet. But it's interesting how they did say they'd be stopping support at the end of 2016, but they're still going. And all the way through to 2018 as well. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, and like this is an example of when the devs genuinely either care about their audience or care about the product.
Yeah.
I think that you don't see it all that often.
No, it's interesting.
Very nice.
It's awesome. It still has 500,000 average weekly players.
Unlike...
How many average weekly players do you think For Honor has on Steam at the moment?
About 6.
No, come on.
16?
7. For Honor, next bit of news is about For Honor. They've got an average of 1,200 players a day at the moment.
Yeah, now with For Honor, it dropped by 95%.
Yeah.
I read.
Yeah, I've got all the
like
percentages here. The first month it dropped by 70. Second month it dropped by another 60. Then it dropped by another 10. Then it dropped by another 44. And now it's dropped by another 26.
So here we go. As of launch in February, it was 28,000 concurrent players. Was average or concurrent?
Average concurrent players.
Average concurrent. And then as of right now, it's 1,200.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So it peaked at 46,000. But anyway, the news about For Honor and why we're talking about it, Ubisoft have outlined its For Honor development schedule, providing fans with an overview of the new content heading to its melee action game in the coming months. 2 new seasons are coming later this year, with the first arriving in August and the other to follow sometime in November. In addition to gameplay updates, the seasons will feature new heroes, maps, and additional gear variations. Those with the Season Pass will get early access to the new heroes. Dedicated servers are also on the way, as Ubisoft Montreal is currently working on an infrastructure that will be introduced further down the road. There's also a new training mode as well as ranked 4v4 matches, dual tournament feature, 4v4 player versus player mode, and further balance updates. So do you think they're still doing this DLC because they have to, because of Season Pass holders?
Yeah.
Because I'd imagine they would have, if they didn't have that, they would have fucking abandoned this by now.
Yeah, if there wasn't Season Pass, I think they would have dropped this. But this is, for me... This is writing on the wall. Like, we played For Honor when it first came out. We gave it a bit of a go for about a better part of like 2-3 weeks. And there were just one of the big things that kind of put me off it was where its seasons were 10 weeks or 3. It was every 3 months. It was quarterly. I'm like, that is insane. There is no way you're going to expect anyone to be playing for the next 3 months. And then like they had different things that change, but...
I think they've reduced that since then because
Fucking
they've
good.
seen how many people are dropping out.
Because like no one will ever see the end of that season. I guarantee. Look at those numbers right there. So 3 months between February and May, they lost 25,000 players just on PC.
Yeah.
So no one saw the end of that season.
No, they didn't. I didn't like it.
And it was bare bones.
I found
it
was bare, but you know. Again, on Overwatch, Overwatch does show you can release a PvP only game and it be extremely fucking successful. For Honor just didn't have it. I think,
as like to its credit though, For Honor had one of the most unique combat systems I've ever experienced.
That's why I didn't like it.
And I enjoyed that part of it. But once you work, because it was cool yet semi shallow in terms of if whoever hit first, they're probably going to win. And there's no way around that. You know, so...
I just didn't find it very accessible, I guess. Like when you're choosing characters, there's all this season and territory and all that all over the screen. You kind of look, what the fuck is this? I want to play.
This is,
you know?
I think I mean, use For Honor as a perfect example of what happens when a games as a service goes wrong.
Yeah.
Like as we know with Rainbow Six Siege as an example, that's really had a tough time, and then it came back and kicked ass. Division did the same thing. What's the one? Ghost Recon Wildlands, sort of the same thing. Started strong, and the DLC it's coming out now, as I hear, is pretty good.
Well,
but I've actually reinstalled Ghost Recon like twice.
Siege and Wildlands have both been in the top 10 for a long time.
Yeah, Siege wasn't there for a while, and they bought up. So that's where this like games as a service is the idea of taking a game and making it extend as long as possible, majority for profit, not for players.
Yeah, of course.
But when that's the entire focus and you design the game around that, there are going to be issues. You have to have a consistent player base.
Yeah.
So
and they can't.
I think For Honor was built too much with the long term in mind, rather than not focusing on the short.
Yeah, I agree. I forgot the numbers. I'll just read it anyway. I only put this one in because I think it's interesting to get a different perspective on things. Released earlier this year in Japan, Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony has been rejected by South Korea's Game Rating and Admin Committee. According to Game Mecha via tipster Sang, the committee denied the game a rating, which means it cannot be released in the country. Any retailer selling imported versions will be breaking the law. Where the Game Rating and Administration Committee rejects a game, it provides detailed reasoning as to why it was turned down, unlike we get down here. The committee,
we get it here. It's very vague though.
The committee cited Game Law Article 32, Section 2 to 3, stating, quote, "There is a concern for societal disruption due to amplified portrayal of crime, violence, sex, etc., in which term would incite criminal behaviour or copycat crimes." Now, when I read that, I was like, fuck off. But there was a little bit more to that story. The assumption has been reasoned that why Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony is banned is due to a recent murder case in which a 17-year-old young woman was arrested for allegedly murdering and dismembering an 8-year-old girl. A game about kids killing kids might be too close to home at the moment.
Yes, it's pretty good reason. It's not the worst thing we've ever read.
I just wanted to mention that because, anytime a game is rejected or whatever down here, we're all up in arms and tables are flipping. It's worth noting that it does happen in other countries too.
Well, Germany is incredibly frequent it was incredibly good at banning games.
Yeah.
Like a lot, all the time.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate that perhaps an action of one has ruined something for the many, but
yeah. So this I find very interesting. Like, if the game was banned purely on this one event, that's interesting because normally it's not like, oh, we think this is too violent for the populace, we think this is too sexual for the populace.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, it's this one particular example, mate.
That's just an assumption though. But when a game gets banned, it depends. Your reaction depends on, the reasons, obviously. And normally, you're only looking at, I'm an adult, I should be able to play whatever I want, which is normally my stance on it as well. Majority of the time it is. But you've got to kind of, what I'm seeing from this anyway, is extend your looking to look at your society and your culture in your part of the world as a whole before kind of going crazy. Because if this, I guess it's a legitimate concern. I might turn my nose up at it a bit. This 17-year-old did something fucking horrible to an 8-year-old, and Danganronpa is a game technically kids killing kids.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard to come down on either side of the fence, but I can kind of see their point. I see their point. I disagree with it. I don't think it's I think this a one-off example isn't enough to stop potential thousands of people enjoying something. Yeah. I'm not sure how big Danganronpa is as a series over in South Korea, but
we're not really tuned in with South Korea demographics.
We'll get on that. No, we won't. No, we won't at all. Next bit of news I'll skip because that's going to lead into the next segment. PS Plus games for August have been announced. On PS4, you will get Just Cause 3 and Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry. On PS3, you'll get Super Motherboard and Snakeball. On PS Vita, you'll get Downwell, also with PS4 cross-buy, and Level 22 for Vita as well.
You know nothing but good shit about Downwell? Been meaning to pick it up. Like it's free. Just Cause, we played that at EB Expo and looked like batshit mayhem.
My son wanted to buy it with his pocket money a few weeks ago, and I turned him down. He bought Overwatch instead of Just Cause. So it's cool that that's free. Right. I've heard that the frame rate on PS4 is fucking garbage.
Yeah,
but it's free, so
because I randomly just check the Facebook Marketplace, see what's available, see what's around, and I saw someone trying to sell Just Cause for like $20, and the first comment was, "Nah, shit's free
in like 4 days." But it's a decent lineup.
That's a pretty solid list, man. Like
Just Cause 3 is a full price AAA game. Probably not now, but it was. It's up there.
Yeah, it sits around the $50-$60 mark at this point. Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry was I
don't know what it is. I've never heard of it.
It was a standalone addition to Assassin's Creed 4.
Oh, great.
Because when I heard, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" So I actually went and looked at some research. and I have no interest in playing it.
No, me either. They're still giving out stuff for PS3. That's cool. Games
I wonder whether that will die out soon. It's only
because they've ceased production, haven't they?
Yeah, in Japan.
In Japan, so it'll be phased out pretty soon. Top selling games for the week ending of last week, 23rd of July. Starting from number 10. None of these titles will surprise you. Number 10, Ghost Recon Wildlands. Number 9, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Number 8, Rainbow Six Siege. Number 7, Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age. Number 6, Uncharted 4. Number 5, Horizon Zero Dawn. Number 4, GTA 4. 5, that's meant to be a 5. Is it?
GTA 5, yeah, it's not 4.
It's probably meant to be 5. Number 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Number 2, Prey's back up there. Number 1, Crash Insane Trilogy still hanging up there. Well done. I miss the days of AFL Evolution.
Yeah, I do like reading this every week, but it is kind of all the same.
You know when something's in there and you go, holy fuck, like that's awesome. Yeah. And AFL Evolution was one of those, and this is pretty much to be expected, I guess. GTA 5
did a big drop. It went from 2nd to 7th?
Yeah, but it's still in there. GTA 5 back in the top 5.
Yeah.
It's always normally between 6 and 10, and that's
another game that I've never uninstalled from my PlayStation because I know at some point I want to go back to it.
Okay. I don't own it.
Yeah, it's good fun.
I had it on PS3.
Really good fun.
Yeah, I had it on PS3. I played online for a while.
And the problem is because it's so popular, it never goes down in price.
Yeah. No, but I don't play.
I would say pick it up and we could have some fun, but if it never goes down in price, it makes it really hard.
That's not for me anyway. I don't think.
Boo.
I never even finished the story. There's no surprises there, really.
Yeah. So now that we're done with all the big bits of news, there is one particular piece of news that caught our interest. I thought that may be our main topic of conversation today, just sort of what it means and where it goes.
So news piece number 11, leading us into the main topic of the show, which 11 weeks later still doesn't have a title, but whatever.
I think it's like 13 weeks now, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. We'll never get one. For our 1 year anniversary, we'll come up with a title for the segment. At the very end of August, PlayStation will be increasing the price to access their online service, PlayStation Plus. Annually, the price will change from $69.95 to $79.95. Quarterly, the price will change from $27.95 to $33.95. And monthly, the price will change from $9.95 to $10.95. No reason was given. I wrote a little bit more, but I kind of went back on that, so I'm not going to read it. We could assume it has something to do with the recent GST changes because Netflix have also adjusted their pricing in the last few weeks.
We'll explain that. So recently in Australia, what has happened is the government has put what they refer to as a Netflix tax. So a lot of things that were previously exempt from GST because there were online services or online sales now have GST attached to them. So as a result,
it seems to be now if you do business in Australia, whether you're based in Australia or not, you
pay GST.
You pay GST.
And that sucks because it increases the price of many things.
But
as I said, Netflix is now because I have the 4K one because with the 4K TV, Miles have 4K Netflix, right? And that's gone from 14 to 18 or something like that.
Yeah, okay. I've just got the basic 2-user one. I never need more than 2 people on it. Me and my daughter every now and then. But to counteract the GST thought, it's also going up in Europe as well.
Yeah, so there's sort of reports coming out that it's coming out in Europe. Europe. I think it's all the Euro, what's referred to as Europe, PlayStation Europe, which is Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and that's about it, I think.
So we're not the only ones, and Europe obviously doesn't have Australian GST either. So.
I got the email dirtily at like 10 o'clock last night. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
So we've had a little bit of a chat in the Facebook group about it. Where do you come down on it?
Yeah, initially I was like, boo earns, and then I'm like, I want to pay it anyway. It's one of those things.
What's your other option?
That is true.
Pay Xbox Gold?
Which I have anyway.
Of course you do.
See, for me, it's kind of like, man, that sucks. Oh, all right, what are we going to do? Because like I like PS Plus.
Yeah, me too. It's a good service.
You know, if I want to play online with anything, I sort of need it. And $80 a year is a lot of money. But I was playing quarterly, so I would have been paying $140 a year.
I am paying quarterly at the moment.
So I was like, fuck that. And last night I adjusted it to be yearly now.
Well, speaking of...
Because I didn't realise that it cost more.
The subscriptions you buy are cumulative. So if by the end of August you decide to purchase another year, even if you've got another 11 months on, you're cool. You won't be paying anymore until after that second year you've paid. So you can, if you're rolling in cash, you can buy fucking 10 years worth right now.
My buddy Reese, he buys in lump sums. He gets them cheap online, I think, and then gets like 3 years worth.
Yeah, well, they had it super cheap.
Yeah.
What, like
paid
last
$70
month or 2
and
months
he had
ago?
3 years worth of PSN.
Yeah, I should have done that.
Smart idea.
Yeah, a lot of people like on the internet as usual are like, oh, fucking this, fucking that. But if you can't afford the extra $10 a year,
Yeah, reassess yourself a little bit.
You've probably got other priorities than paying for PlayStation Plus anyway.
Yeah.
Having said that, I don't pay yearly and I pay quarterly as it is because every time it's up, I never really want to spend that spare $70 on PlayStation. So I'll just put the 25 on and fucking forget about it. I may change to yearly. I'll have to buy a year before the end of August now. But
well, see, because like when PS Plus first came around, I was working part time and casual, so I couldn't afford to plump out an $80 or whatever it was at the time, $50, $60. So I was like, I'll do it quarterly, and that's more manageable for me. Now I'm like, and also when Lee pointed out in the Facebook group that I'm paying $50 extra just by doing it quarterly, I was like, fuck that.
Yeah. How long has PS Plus been around for? 10 years?
It's long. Well, yeah, it's
about 10 years.
Quite a while, yeah.
To be fair, the price hasn't changed since then.
It's
fluctuated a couple of bucks,
a little bit, but it's like this is probably like going up by $10. Probably the clearest jump. Normally it's been like a little bit here and there, and inflation has happened in that time, and they've never adapted it. That's fine. But like the reason we're having this conversation is because I sort of want to talk about what this means, because simply put, PlayStation are yet to, as time of recording, are yet to say why.
Do they have to?
I think they do a little bit.
I mean, you'd want them to, but they don't have to.
No, but like if you want any sort of customer relation, you say, "Oh, it's for these reasons," even if it's something as bland and fucking boring as server costs.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, are we seeing PlayStation move or be all high and mighty now? See, because we had since. The whole crossplay debacle that's been going on, and now if they don't come out and say why to all your customers, that is pretty shitty. If they don't put out a statement, we're increasing they've been sure enough to send out, we're upping the prices, but they haven't told us why. So if they don't tell us why, it seems like they're kind of getting a little bit smug with their position in the industry.
Yeah. See, this is something that's just so recently I've sort of noticed that with the games industry there's a lot of echo chamber. A lot of people saying the same shit, even sometimes the exact same way.
Let me ask you a question before you go on.
Yeah.
Do you think people are sleeping
Shut
on the
up,
Lost
we'll get to
Legacy?
that. That's a question. Like one of the people always talk about like, is this PlayStation returning to is this Sony returning to PlayStation 3 Sony? I'm like, no, it's fucking It's just this hyperbole of the internet kind of frustrates me. And it's at that time, they made some big fucking mistakes, but they fixed that shit. PS3 Sony is very different because like when they started that generation, they were really arrogant, they were really smug, and they weren't very another phrase that's kind of ruined. They weren't very pro-consumer. But at the end of it, they fixed that shit. Now they're here. You're like, being number one does grant you some freedoms, right? Because no one ever remembers, like, in terms of history, no one ever remembers who came second. People remember who came first, because when you're first, you can shape history. Now, granted, I still think the majority of where Sony are right now is they are still very focused on the games, on the customers. I think that's good. There are moments where they have slight changes, and apparently they're back to PS3 Sony again. You know what I mean? It's like, just by that, like, if they don't make a statement, that's pretty fucking dirty. Yeah. Only because it may only be $10, but as you said, some people that may make or break.
Yeah, and but also
it's kind of like if they're asking for you to pay more money, we as consumers, we do have the right to be like, hey, can we just find out why?
So
like, I'm still going to give you my money, but just give me some context.
They've said their PS Plus numbers are around 25 mil.
Yeah.
$10 a month from those 25 million people, minimum, because that's for the annual pricing.
Even with exchange.
Yeah.
You're fine. Like, that's a big sum of money.
That's a big chunk of money. So I guess what I want to see is if you're getting extra 250 million-ish a year on top of what you're already getting, what are we getting in return? Exactly. What are you doing for us? Is that 250 million finally going to fix your infrastructure so we can change our names?
Yeah,
maybe.
So even if they said that, look, we need to rebuild the PlayStation Network from the ground up.
Yeah.
That money is going towards that.
And then we can take everything you got, put it on the new network, then you can change your names.
See, as a minimum, like there's
Yeah,
that.
as
and
a
it's
minimum,
just,
of
it's just a better, safer infrastructure.
How about downloading speeds get fixed? Because that shit's all over the place.
But you know what I mean? Like if no company will ever be that transparent. Because that implies that makes them say our system's unsafe.
What we have now isn't good.
Yeah, and
by
like
industry standards.
any big corporation like that won't be that transparent. Small indie people and stuff, they'll make that statement all the time. You know, we do it all the time. We're like, yeah, we're not good enough to do this, but we're trying to do this. You know.
Yeah.
So it's also the internet being, you know, the
Internet
thing that
being
it is.
internet.
They're all sort of speculative now, like, well, with the announcement of 5.0 coming out and now this increase in PS Plus, what does that mean? What's changing? And then a couple of people on the internet are like, maybe this means PlayStation Now will become stock standard with PS Plus. How does that benefit us in Australia?
Maybe it'll be coming to Australia. That's why we've got the price.
No, but the point is, even with the price increase, even if it comes here, that's a price increase for people that can't use it. Speaking of infrastructure, we do not have the internet. The internet infrastructure I keep saying infrastructure. We don't have the internet system in place to allow for this. So they're like, hey, you have PS Now. Like, thanks.
I can't stream anything.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm downloading at 500 kilobytes a second.
Even then, if that money stays within the PlayStation Network, if that comes down to they can now offer bigger and better games, like, you know, if they use that money to because when they do the way a free PS Plus game is picked, chosen, paid for is so no one knows.
Yeah.
And those that do get the game in there, I assume that like there's an NDA because no one's ever said anything. So I can only assume that they give them a lump sum of money.
Oh, definitely.
To sort of be like, hey, we're going to make your game free this month.
How many we think you'll sell for the month? We'll reimburse you plus some more.
Yeah, kind of like a land developer saying, we'll buy your house with a little bit extra so we can take, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's the exact same process. Like, hey, here's a lump sum of money with an extra. And if this $250 million a year or whatever they're getting now allows them to bring higher quality games or even somewhat more recent games, that's a bonus.
I don't see that.
But I don't see them doing that. And I don't see them rebuilding the infrastructure from scratch either.
We reported, probably 2 months ago roughly, that the Sony's gaming department was the only department of Sony bringing in a profit. Oh no, it was the opposite. No, the whole company was bringing in a profit.
For a while. Previously, there were a time when PlayStation was the only profitable part of Sony, but that's sort of changing.
That's kind of changing. No, I was going all conspiracy theory.
You think because it's the number one, like they want to pump more money out of it?
They can get some more money out of PS Plus to pump up their TVs. No, you're right. It was actually the opposite. It's
for the first time ever, they're like, oh my god.
Yeah, what the fuck is happening?
People buying our TVs.
Why? They're shit.
Like, even our Walkman sales are up.
They are shit TVs.
Hey,
why are we still...
Why are we still making this?
Why are R&D putting out Discmans?
Were they the Walkman, or was Walkman and Discman both Sony?
I don't know.
I remember there being a difference. But what do you think this sort of means? Like, what? Because like I've ranted the fuck out of this, so it's like, what do you think the money is going towards?
We'll never know. We'll never know.
You can speculate a little bit.
Well, we were speculating they're not going to rebuild the infrastructure from the ground up. They're not going to do that. The likelihood of more recent / newer games coming to PS Plus because of this, not going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't believe. R&D for PS5, as if they're not already doing that anyway.
Yeah.
Who knows? Until they put out a statement, which I really hope they do, because Sony has a very loyal fan base. Hello. And they, not to sound entitled, but they do owe a reason, because without the fans that are paying for PS Plus, they probably wouldn't be in the position they're in the industry now. So if you're going to ask us for an extra $10 a year over 25 million-ish people that you said, just give us a rough outline of why.
See, like the entitlement of the internet is strong. But there is the difference that I find between entitlement is like, hey, we get, we deserve, like, so something like in YouTube, right? The entitlement of people of the YouTube community, not ours. Ours is fucking great. But this internet, like, hey, you give me free shit every day. We're entitled to these videos. Like right now, there's a big thing going on with Angry Joe right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh.
So
Nice.
he's essentially decided to go on like a 2-month vacation.
Okay.
He'll still make he won't make any of his angry reviews, which the staple of his channel. But he'll do his other things. But it's only because like I've been making this for like 10 years. I want to take 2 weeks off, 2 months off, and just fucking chill. Plus,
Fucking do it.
There's no
Cool,
there's no
man.
real big games coming out for the next 2 months. So we'll come
Yeah.
back in September and go fucking hard. The internet's like, because they're like, well, we come here for angry reviews, and it's like, yeah, but
Yeah, and they'll be back here in a couple of
Yeah,
weeks. I'm
exactly.
sure there's 1,000 other fucking channels
and
you
that's
can
the
watch.
entitlement, right? Because these people just watch his shit.
And that's the thing you don't get. I mean, we're not there yet, but we do feel it sometimes as making YouTube content, you don't get a break per se.
I don't.
And if
You had a break. Dylan had a break.
you've never asked for one.
'Cause
But
I
if you
can't. It's in my
step
house.
back, exactly. But when do you take, if you want to go on holidays for 2 weeks, are you meant to make 2 weeks of videos in advance? That's fucking hard. Sometimes there's not going to be a new video for a week. Sorry, but I need a fucking break.
Yeah, but the point I'm making with that is because these people are getting something for free, and they're like, no, we're entitled to it because we're subscribers. Like with PlayStation, this is like we literally give you money. We pay you money. We're not entitled, but you should
Yeah.
give us some information. here.
Strongly should. Just, even if it's as boring as we haven't been going with the, what's the word, price up and down.
Yeah, this is
inflation.
This
We
is due to
haven't
inflation.
we
and
haven't
fluctu-
adjusted for inflation for as long as we possibly can.
Yep.
We have to now.
Yep.
Like we were or maybe we're breaking even, or we've been close to breaking even. We stretched as long as we could. Maybe here's some data, numbers, not dollar figures. Maybe some numbers, just to show that they've kept it at that price for as long as they could, and then they're like, we can't now. Here's why we can't. And cool, okay. That's such a fucking boring response, and there's no fun in that.
But it's a response.
But it's a response.
And the thing is, what will happen is, even if we do get a response, the internet will still be like, that's not a good enough reason because I think so. But, as long as they give a response, that's what I'm happy. If they're like, it's because of this, I'm like, okay, it's because of this. That's cool.
Yeah, let us know what you think about that.
Speaking of letting them know what you think, this is where we go to from the players. Me.
I
Also,
feel like I should just bring my car keys in and just jingle them in between segments.
speaking of not from the players or anything, but I did totally look at Overwatch, $47 at EB. There's none in Geelong have them.
Oh.
Uh,
It'll be $50 on the PS Store. You would have been looking at the Super Edition thing.
Okay, so Charlie asked the question, nothing to do with games, but he asked the question.
Yeah.
I'm tall when I'm young, and I'm short when I'm old. What am I?
What? I just didn't put my mind in riddle mode.
I'm tall when I'm young,
Yeah.
and I'm short when I'm old.
Did he
What
give the
am I?
answer or not?
No.
Fuck. I'm tall when I'm young, when I'm short when I'm old. This is going to be something so dumb.
See, like my first, I'm like, it's a tree. Wait. I read it, I'm like, no, it's clearly a tree, and then it turns out not a tree. All right, now.
There's a few answers for that, actually.
Okay, did you search it?
No?
Oh, yeah.
Just for the people on the podcast, don't know that I've got my phone. Pencil is one of them.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. A person's ego.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
Yeah, go on.
Thanks, Charlie. Please let us know the right answer in the comments.
Chris D. Comment wants to know our thoughts on esports. Yeah, we talked about esports for 40 minutes or 2 weeks ago. Jump on that one, man.
and every episode since.
Yeah, because he's
To summarise,
hard.
esports in current form. Good. Overwatch
Has a lot of room to grow.
A lot of room to grow, but they're on the right track.
It's on the right path.
Fucking keen.
Paul asked the question, there's a theory kicking around that people are, quote, sleeping on the game, as in for Uncharted The Lost Legacy. Do we expect this to be the case when the game launches next month, or is this perception largely fueled by the fact that an Uncharted game is a fairly known commodity now?
Go on.
I'm not going to run it.
No, get it out.
Yeah, look. Sleeping on the game sleeping. Whatever the fucking phrase is. This is something that Greg Miller has been kicking around the last like week or so. Now I'm a big Kind of Funny fan. Wearing a Kind of Funny Greg Miller shirt. Something that I've seen the internet's taken that phrase and ran with it. I've never heard it before in my life, and then suddenly,
I've heard the phrase before.
Suddenly, it's fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And this is the echo chamber of the internet. So I'm gonna do my very best to never use that statement.
Oh, okay.
But
No.
the question is, are people disregarding Uncharted: The Lost Legacy?
No. It's fine.
So this is the thing. Like in our circle, this is the other problem with the internet. In our circle, we're like, Uncharted: Lost Legacy. I knew it was coming. I knew it was great. Because one of the biggest misconceptions about this now is this understanding that people think it's DLC. It's not a standalone story. Granted, we knew, but Dave, even our PR guy, he didn't. So when he emailed PlayStation, we're like, hey, PlayStation Australia, so hey, we would love to get our hands on the new Uncharted DLC when it comes out in August.
Did they
responded saying,
troll him for a bit?
Yeah, no worry, we've got you hooked up, but just so you know, it's not DLC.
I would have loved if they ran with it and went, there is no DLC.
And I read it, and I'm like, dude, it's not DLC, right? He's like, I have no idea. Because originally, this is like the information that everyone should know at this point. So when Uncharted 4 launched, it's like, hey, we're going to have a season pass, we're going to have a bunch of multiplayer content, and then finish it off with a big story DLC. So as they started work on this story DLC, it grew and grew and grew and became bigger than what they expected. So they're like, hey, this is actually a full-blown standalone game. Yeah. It's not like obviously it's going to be using a lot of Uncharted 4 assets and all that sort of stuff, but...
See, they did do that with Left Behind for The Last of Us, where it was standalone, but
it was like a 2-3 hour experience.
2 or 3 hour experience, and not a full, because it's pretty much a full Uncharted experience,
8 to 10 hours.
8 to 10 hours, yeah. But Infamous did it too with First Light as well.
Yep.
That came
and Far Cry
standalone
did
as
Blood
well.
Dragon and
yeah, I wish I played Blood Dragon. It looks fucking rad.
I think it was for PS Plus.
Yeah.
I'm playing it on my PS3 somewhere.
Yeah, but that whole concept is still kind of a new... It's a new concept, people aren't familiar with... Here's a game from that game, but you don't need that game to play the game that looks like that game using characters from that game.
I think the misconception comes from how they marketed the game when it first came out.
Yeah,
because like when they first kicked it off, like this is what we thought it was going to be, and then it changed. Things change, and then, but this is the thing. It's like they spent the longest part going, "Hey, it's story DLC," and they're like, "Yeah, no, like I don't think enough people hear that one part and they go cool, and then they shut it off until it comes out."
It's that close to knocking your can of Coke off the table. Yeah, no, it's going to sell just fine. If anything, I think it will sell probably slowly at the start and then ramp up over the coming 3 or 4 weeks.
I think people are hesitant.
Yeah.
No, this is not a new theory either. People are probably hesitant when it comes to a Uncharted story that isn't Nathan Drake.
I am.
Like, to me, Uncharted is Nathan Drake, and I would love for them to see I'd love for them to show me what an Uncharted world is without Nathan Drake. I can't wait to see it.
Which is what they're doing.
And they're using 2 characters like with Chloe.
Yeah.
We see Chloe we see her for Uncharted 2, and then we never see her again. And then Nadine is a new character for Uncharted 4. We've only never seen her in the one game.
She kicked Nate's fucking
She
ass.
beat the shit out of Nate.
So like, bad.
For me, it's cool to see 2 strong-headed characters coming together on the sides. People that like you could assume were one-off characters, and then we never see them again. Unlike Nathan, Elena, and Sully, and they kind of appear in multiple games. So it's cool to get legs outside of the Drake circle.
Yeah. That'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
I'm keen as shit. And if we can, like I said, we have confirmation from PlayStation Australia that we have a code on the way. When it gets it, depending on what the reason on the embargoes, I'm going to stream the shit out of that game for you guys.
Cool.
Can't wait.
There's one more question, wasn't there?
Yeah. So old Buddy Watson, he is a credible fan of things. Really good dude.
Yeah.
He asked the question, Elena or Chloe?
Elena.
The answer's Elena. Are you serious?
Elena is the kind of girl you'd want to come home to.
Yeah.
Whereas Chloe's
crazy.
You come home from work one day, right? Chloe's not home. And you think, where the fuck is she? What is she doing? Who is she doing? Because she seems like that. Nothing wrong with that. But in terms of something long term, see, we get Elena, who's a gamer for starters, because she beat Nate in Crash Bandicoot. Very... What's the word I'm looking for? It's a very homely girl.
Yeah.
Who is strong and independent.
And can also do the same level of adventuring as we know.
Yeah.
You know, when she kicked things off as sort of a documentarian sort
Yeah.
of thing. Like, she can keep up with Nate.
She can keep up and beat him in video games.
And
I'd assume
spoilers.
I haven't finished Uncharted 4.
Oh, fuck. Father his children.
You just said fuck me or something, didn't you?
No, not even close.
Okay.
Like, for someone that can do that, like, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely Elena. Chloe's the one night stand. Elena is the one you take home to mum.
Yeah, I wouldn't take Chloe back to... Like, you know, it's really funny. Like, so the actress who looks incredibly like Chloe, which was great work on their part with the mocap, she's in Stargate. Like, Millie's watching Stargate. I was dicking around on my phone. I heard the voice. I'm going, Chloe. Which is really weird. Because, like, you know, yeah, it's cool. Side note.
Definitely
the answer is Elena. Easy.
I know where to go from that.
Cool. These are what games that are coming to your PlayStations this week.
Coming to the players.
Coming to your players as well.
The drop for the week of August 1st, 2017. We've got about 7 games coming. We have Aven Colony, PS4 and retail. Castle Storm VR Edition, PS4 VR digital. Demetrios, The Big Cynical Adventure, PS4 digital. Dino Frontier, PSVR.
I should
digital.
note on the picture for the Cynical Adventure, it's a guy going...
I'll read the description after this. Draw Fighters, PS4 digital. Frisky Business, PS4 digital. The Long Dark, PS4 digital. Patapon Remastered, PS4 digital. And Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun, PS4 digital. So
there is literally nothing that interests me. The name of the Cynical Adventure intrigues me.
Demetrios,
Dino
The
Frontier
Big Cynical Adventure. Demetrios is a quirky adventure game packed with tons of humour. Bjorn Thonen, a slob of an antique dealer living in Paris, is robbed one night after coming home drunk. Forced to conduct his own investigation with the help of neighbour Sandra, he ends up involved in a murky, mysterious affair. Will these unlikely heroes be able to rise up and... Oh. The description wasn't as good as the name and the artwork for the game. Dino Frontier for PSVR. Build and manage a frontier settlement in a world where the Wild West and Jurassic collide.
What?
Dino Frontier is a VR simulation where players assume the role of Big Mayor. Big Mayor. They must carefully balance resources while growing their town and surviving bandit attacks.
So City Skyline / SimCity with dinosaurs and
Wild West. Yeah.
And in VR. That's ticking much boxes.
The artwork is a hand with a little cowboy, like a VR hand with a cowboy, dropping him towards a massive T-Rex. That could actually be fun.
Yeah, I'm curious.
That actually looks kind of fun. Can you because in SimCity you could drop the UFOs and the naturals. Can you just unleash the dinosaurs into your settlement?
Maybe in the same way of. Do you ever play Black and White on PC?
Yeah.
The old line head. You know, you just go, No.
Yeah. But then for whatever reason. They all start worshipping you more because they don't want to get thrown.
Yeah. And then you just go, whatever. Hey, Mystic Beast, clear out this village. Boo, boo, boo.
One more quickly, just because the cover is quite alluring. Frisky Business. You are Mr. Falco Frisk, private detective of Frisk Investigative Solutions. Develop your relationships with your team as you take on your very first case.
That said absolutely nothing.
I don't know. Is it point and click? Is it Phoenix
Simulator?
Wright? Is it date sim? Well, looking at the girls.
Speaking of date sim, I really want to play that dad simulator game, but I think it's only on PC.
My son was watching Jacksepticeye do a playthrough of it. I had to get him to turn it off.
It's getting a bit sexy.
A little bit too sexy. I was like, sorry, mate. Yeah. See, Jacksepticeye. I love Jacksepticeye.
He's very obnoxious, incredibly obnoxious, and his voice grinds me up.
Very loud and very in your face. Yeah. But he does do the videos where he just talks to the camera and stuff, and you kind of get that relationship a bit more outside of the persona. I think he's a very likable guy.
He seems like cool dude.
I can only take the content so much because, as you said, after a while his voice grinds. Thankfully, I think my son has watched every possible fucking video, so now he just waits for the new videos because there's nothing left to watch.
There was a time where I did fall on a septic
eye.
Septic as in like a septic wound.
Septic. That's why the eye logo is green.
Oh, okay.
Septic.
Jacksepticeye. So I think when we were watching when PSVR came out, he did a ton of Let's Plays, and he did Job Simulator and stuff, and they were fucking funny. They were really funny.
He started with I don't know why we're talking about this, but he started streaming Happy Wheels.
Same as like PewDiePie.
A lot of big Markiplier and Dan TDM, they all streamed Happy Wheels at some point. But he's so fucking funny in that series. Like, I'm sitting there laughing more than my kid because I find it so funny. Quick trivia note, he got his start because PewDiePie gave him a shout out. PewDiePie had a competition, this is like 3 years ago now I think, PewDiePie had a competition where YouTubers submit him videos and he'll pick like 10 videos that he liked and give their channel a shout out. This is when PewDiePie was at his prime. So he gave Jacksepticeye a shout out, who at the time had I think 1,000 subs. 2 weeks later he had 24,000, and then like 3 months later he was at 200k, and now he's at 16 million or something.
Wow.
So yeah, the shout out obviously helped, but if you didn't keep making the content properly,
if anyone wants to shout us out, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll give you a shout out if
we'll give you 20 viewers and you give us more.
Please. I don't know. I like Jacksepticeye. It's funny.
Anyway, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
Do the spiel.
Oh, I keep forgetting we do it at the end of the video too.
We do our names early, so do the spiel and then we'll do our names again, and then...
That's what threw me off. If you like that conversation, you can be ready for it every Monday at 9 a.m. Australia Eastern Standard Time. More conversation happens on Facebook and all other major social media outlets. But the main conversation happens on our Facebook community group page, facebook.com/groups/thepopculturist. And the Discord channel, I don't know how to link that to people. Just ask in the community group and Jess or Chris will send you a link. And if you really liked that conversation, jump over to Patreon and check out the tiers there. You can get this show 1 day early, but check out all the other tiers. There might be something there that interests you.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
And that was for the players.